Hello everyone. Have you ever had a situation where you have spent enough number of days to work on your slides, to work on your presentation deck, but still you have not been able to engage your audience better? You have not had an effective presentation because you were not able to connect with your audience. Even though you had tons of knowledge and experience on the subject was a favorite subject. Your understanding is no second to any other person in the class, but still you have not been able to connect with your audience. I'm sure that is the situation with many of us. Today I'm going to talk about three secrets using which you would be able to engage with your audience better and you will have a very successful presentation with your audience. Point number one, preparations. Even though you are a guru, even though you are going to talk about on your favorite subject with your audience, you need to prepare on this topic because the way you explain to a 15-year-old is way different from the way you explain to a 40 years professionals. The way you explain to a working professional is way different than you explain to any other people in this universe. And this is how you need to keep it in mind. You need to make it less theoretical and more practical oriented so that people are able to connect with the topic very well. And this is where I would like to jump into the second topic. Keep it simple because you may have learned on the topic through your n number of years of experience expertise on that field. You may have vast experience in that subject. It doesn't mean that you need to open up every chapter of the book to your audience, and this is what I call that as information overload. If you overburden so much of knowledge or topics in front of your audience, your audience may get little lost. They may be feeling disengaged with the conversation with you. So it is important that you keep it very simple when you are starting to interact with your audience, at least in the initial conversations. And once you build on top of that, you can always go to the advanced concepts as the day progresses. And this is where I would like to talk about the third one, knowing your audience. You need to know your audience well. You have to research on your audience well before you go and talk about your subject. The audience, whoever is going to be present in the classroom, are they well learned, well educated on that topic, or they are ground zero? If they are at a ground zero, you need to start with the simple concepts before you move on to the complex topics. You also need to understand the audience, whoever you are going to talk on any sensitive topic. Are there any matters of offensive that you need to be aware of so that you can handle those questions or you can handle those topics carefully during your presentation? If your audience is interested, or they have raised certain queries or complaints on your topic, if you are going to talk about on those subject, you need to be prepared. You need to understand what kind of queries or questions they had raised in the past. So it is very important to understand your audiences. So there are three aspects you need to keep in mind. Point number one, preparations, and there is nothing wrong to be over prepared. Point number two, keep it simple. And point number three is know your audience better. If you do research on these three aspects, and of course, prepare and prepare well in advance, you would be able to deliver an effective presentation to your audience. So with this, I will sign off. If you have any questions, you can always ask your questions below this video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you.